Chapter 7.
Take back control of freedom.
Pandura looked the chief over. His cape was burned.
Chief.
You can call me not democracy officer.
Pawn is fine on my end then. But I was wondering, why were you on that trivial mission?
I start my day and end it with a light jog and target practice with one of my team's preferred weapons. If a situation ever arose where I was out of ammo, I'd need to be competent with a borrowed weapon. A master with a knife can beat a team of novices with guns, because knives never run out of ammo and can be thrown, while guns require aim and have to be chambered with the safety off.
Understood.
If you take anything away from all my ranting, take these two things. 1. Try to land at extraction. You can throw down supplies, emplacements, mines, and anything else that will be waiting for your extraction. And 2. Completely outline your team's plan of action and attack before you go dirt side.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron. Engaging orbital thrusters. Orbit synchronized.
The words Death's Lover appeared on the team roster. The SES Prince of Destruction could now be seen from the bridge. Not walked toward the cryopod door. Death! He held out his hand as his comrade walked up the stairs. They grabbed each other's hands like they were arm wrestling midair. Then in synchronization spoke. You son of a bitch! They seemed to be in some type of test of conviction over who had the stronger grip. This lasted for a full 3 seconds before the Death Chief tapped the back of Naught's hand, releasing the unusual handshake. The SES Judge of Redemption pulled out of FTL next to the SES Emperor of Wrath.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron. Engaging orbital thrusters. Orbit synchronized.
The new chief spoke.
I brought Raven with me.
The team roster added another chief to the list, and the name Duke Raven. A Helldiver with a prosthetic arm and leg walked up the stairs. Nott said, Raven! Then held out his hand just like before. The robotic arm made a whirling sound as the artificial hand vice-gripped the chief's hand. Nott spoke with a slightly strained voice as his hand started to get crushed. You son of a bitch! Raven made no effort to jinx their speech and replied in a sharp, cold tone.
You son of a bitch.
Nott tapped out against the cybernetic prosthetic, then took the lead for introductions. Death, Raven, this is Democracy Officer turned Helldiver Pandura. Pawn, these are my fellow chiefs. We all go by our call signs. I just got finished helping her become acquainted with some of Super Earth's best options, other than your two specialties. Chief Death nodded and stepped forward, taking his primary weapon off his belt.
You can call me Death. I take it Nott gave you the knives never run out of bullets line.
Pandura nodded.
Well, this is the Lost 16 sickle. This is the laser version of an AR-23 Liberator that never runs out of bullets and has no real recoil. Instead of wasting time reloading, you just swap weapons while the other one cools down. The Lost 7 dagger is your secondary, and either the Lost 98 laser cannon if you need a machine gun or the Lost 99 quasar cannon if you need a tank killer. Combine that with the AX Lost 5 guard dog rover to watch your back, and you'll never stop killing enemies because you'll never stop firing.
Nott spoke. I left the orbital laser to you. Death nodded, recognizing it as a compliment.
It has its limits. Only 3 uses, long cooldown, and can't tell the difference between a dirty bug hive and just dirt. But do you want to vaporize a massive medium armor bug wave, kill a heavy without looking at it, or destroy almost any bot base or objective? Turn their fortress into their tomb with the orbital laser. You may dislike the limited uses, but you are guaranteed to never miss completely. It always kills or destroys something. Lastly, the FAF-14 Spear. It fires an anti-tank homing missile and is incapable of being dumbfired. the targeting lock is more of an art than a science. Turns out the programmer working on that application died at Angel's Venture when the bugs broke out. But if you take it slow, train yourself on some easy missions with it, then everything it locks onto is a one-and-done shot. Bot command bunkers, titans to the face or dropships on the ground or in the air. Upon successful lock, the entire reticle will change from yellow to green, at which point the missile will fly upwards for a second and then travel down towards the locked-on unit, bringing death from above. Bombardments and barges are hammers. The orbital laser is an orbital scalpel and the spear is artillery. Remember, if you're lying prone sideways, the missile will travel the direction your head is first. The spear doesn't know you're not holding it upward.
Death motioned for Chief Raven to speak. He did so by clearing that it was all right to just call him by his call sign.
Raven, you're running a mission. You see a bug patrol. You hide. That bug patrol can smell and track you by your footpath. Bots get a bird's eye view from their incoming dropships. It's harder to hide from that, meaning that being noticed at all begins warfare against you. Stealth, misdirection, speed and patience are your greatest weapons because they're not something you carry, they're something you are. Orbital weapons are effective, but they give away your position to the entire mission area. Every patrol that sees or hears it will come gunning for you. If you're going to use an orbital, use the orbital precision strike or orbital rail cannon strike. One is a big grenade and the other is a big grenade that never misses. Small is silent. Silent is smooth. Smooth is fast. You can't be killed in a fight you're not having. Don't be where combat can or will happen. Don't be identified as a target. Don't be acquired as a target. Don't engage unless absolutely necessary. Don't be hit or damaged. That includes your gear. Don't be affected, tilted or compromised. Keep a clear head. Withdrawing from contact with the enemy is not a retreat. It's prioritizing the mission objectives over a kill count. The mission comes first.
Raven pointed to his R-63CS Diligence Counter Sniper and P4 Senator Mataba auto revolver.
Turn your combat strategy into rings around you, one weapon for each range. This way you'll have an option for every distance. When taking out bots, kill the small ones that shoot flares first. That alerts any patrol in the area and calls in dropships. The majority of missions are to destroy, not get bogged down in a shootout. But if you're going to shoot it out, make it so you can shoot them and they can even aim at you. Always remember this, a Helldivers combat style is orbital guerrilla warfare. Hit and run. Emphases on the run. Stay on the bounce, trooper.
Pandura replied.
I get you, sir.
She pointed to his cybernetic prosthetics.
What happened?
Raven pushed a button on his arm, and a recording played.
I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow in the knee. Sweet liberty, my leg!
Naught and Death chuckled. Pandura smiled, not really getting the joke. Death answered.
Bot shot an impact grenade he was holding just as he took it off his belt.
Naught added, Normally I'd have you speak with the rest of our brothers in bloodshed, but they're out on recon rescue for a golden oldie AI program.
Hades is our dirt side leader and explosives expert, mostly because his grenades work best if they get used first. Then Macat our one-man army of sentry turrets, but I think we can speak a bit for them.
Death picked up where Raven left off.
Hades would tell you that the grenade pistols and grenade launchers impact grenades don't explode at short range and to get the enemy to follow you around corners or other ways to bottleneck them into an easy kill box. Also, bigger the boom the better. That includes barges. McCat would tell you to just bring the autocannon and rocket sentry with both mortar sentries. Killing all enemies means there's nothing left to stop you from completing your mission. He aims for maximum body count, and we're going to kill them all anyway. Why let the Super Earth Armed Forces have any fun?
And your preference?
He didn't hesitate. It's like Ravens. I'm a defensive duelist, only by armor category instead of range. Orbital walking barrage, guard dog, quasar or commando, and a turret or emplacement depending on the mission. Just like my brothers here. We are all an expert in a category of combat. From sniping from the shadows, to solar orbital showers, to striking with the kitchen sink. I know, we're solid. Raven waved his hand.
There are 5 ways to defend against damage. 1. They never get the chance to shoot. 2. A great distance. 3. They hit themselves. 4. A shield. And 5. They miss entirely, that is to say misdirection.
Death added.
Outthink them, primarily by trapping them. If their movements are predictable, they are an easy target.
Pandura replied.
The same walls and trenches they make to keep us out also keep them in.
Death smiled under his helmet.
Now you're up to speed. Let's go run something over.